The big issue is not the course itself, it's actually consumption. It's actually consumption. And if we really care as online educators about those who we're serving, we have to do whatever we can on our part to actually enhance consumption. Of course.
Wake up, it's time to be free. Wake up, was blind, now I see. Wake up, it's time to be me. Wake up, my mind is the key.
Wake up, it's time to be me. Wake up, my mind is the key.
Welcome, it's Jules and Gordon with another episode of the Daily Jules, where I drop nuggets of wisdom to help you increase your degrees of freedom. Doesn't matter how many college degrees you have, the only degree that really matters is your degree of freedom. Doesn't matter how much money you make, the only thing that really matters is how you actually make money. And so today I got a great question from Ed, who is not only presenting live, but also creating online courses in the medical field. And some of his stuff is counterintuitive. It goes against conventional wisdom. And some of the terminologies are difficult to understand. This is why medical school is so hard. And he's trying to convey this information to an end consumer so that they can actually make transformation in their lives. And again, we're not just here for the transfer of information. We're here for people's transformation. But the biggest problem with online courses that only about 7% of people actually complete online courses, right? The big issue is not the course itself, it's actually consumption. It's actually consumption. And if we really care as online educators about those who we're serving, we have to do whatever we can on our part to actually enhance consumption. Of course, people have their busy lives going on. They're trying to sit at a computer at 8 p.m. at night after they put the kids to sleep. And it can be difficult, but it's our responsibility as educators. We have to get more creative in order to serve them at the highest level. So just want to give you some quick frameworks for how I think about creating curriculum. And we're actually going to lay out a curriculum for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in just a second, okay? But before we get there, I want to share with you how I think about every single module and every single curriculum that I create. And it's literally these four things is what I consider. So first and foremost is the purpose, right? Whatever you're teaching me right now, I need to know in advance of you actually teaching me why it is important. Don't just come shooting information at me and assume that I will understand why it's important. You actually have to start with the why first, which is the purpose. From there, you want to make it personal, right? You want to make it personal. I need to know how this is relevant to my life. Okay, you told me the why, this is important. Like if if math would have been structured for me in elementary school as how to create a business or how to make money, right? I probably would have been more attentive in math class, right? Now there's a difference between elementary math and millionaire math, but there is overlap. There's math things that they could have framed in the context of buying a home or real estate, etc., or owning a store and things of that nature, which my third grade teacher did do. All of our math homework and assignments were structured in the form of actually shopping oftentimes. I guess he was promoting consumerism. But you want to make it very personal, right? So why is it important? And then how is this relevant to my actual life? Then from there, what is the process that that I need to know in order to do it, right? And then finally, from there, this is the part that most online courses skip, is what is a practical example of how I will use this? What is a practical example of how I will use this? Like, for instance, derivatives, right? When I was doing algebra or calculus derivatives, I still don't necessarily know the practicality of it. Yes, there is one singular answer, but how does this apply to my life? I think I had to use derivatives a couple times in business school, but not a lot, right? So nobody ever anchored the practicality for me. So purpose, personal. What is the process I need to do it, right? This could be a framework that you create. And then what is the practicality of it? How do I actually practice it? So you want to integrate this into every single module, not just the course as a whole, but every single module. You want to go through this process of making sure that they understand why this module is important, how it's relevant to them, how to do it, and then give them a practical application, okay? So that's first and foremost. But now let's create a curriculum for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Right? Right. So we're making a peanut BJ, right? And so if I'm trying to teach my daughter how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I'm going to go step by step by step. I can't skip steps, right? I have to guide her because she's only 3 years old, right? Now, I think I'm just making the picture uglier, but it's all good. You know what it is. So from here, when I think about how do I break this down into literally, no pun intended, bite-sized pieces, first I'm going to say, first I'm probably going to show her what the end result is, right? This is what we're making today. This is the end result, okay? I hate going to restaurants where I see the menu, but I prefer a picture of it, right? I want to see where we're going to. When you're building a puzzle, you typically have the box standing up next to you so you see where you're moving towards. So I'll probably start off by showing her the end result. Then I'm going to say, here are all the ingredients that we need, right? And I'm going to go peanut butter, jelly, and bread, right? Then I'm going to go into the tools that we need. The tools that we need, right? We need a knife, right? So this is everything that we need to get started. Then literally imagine that she's not blindfold, but imagine that she's like a computer and you have to tell her exactly what to do, right? So this is how minute I want you to get, right? Lay both slices of bread flat on a plate, right? You may just say, oftentimes we skip and we say, oh, just go slap on peanut butter on one slice of bread and slap on jelly on the other side of bread, and then you'll be done. And then put the pieces of bread together. That would be the simplified version, right? But I need you to break it down even more. So go put 2 slices of bread, go into the bread box, get 2 slices of bread and lay them flat on a single plate, right? So that is done. Okay, now open up the lid to the jelly jar and open up the lid to the peanut butter jar. Take your knife, put it at a 45-degree angle and dip it into the jelly jar, and take that jelly and spread it as much as you can over the left piece of bread, right? Go ahead, if there's still bread showing, dip the knife back into the jelly jar, get more jelly and spread it over the remaining left piece of bread until you don't see any more brown, right? If it's wheat bread, okay? Now, take a paper towel, which I forgot was a tool that we needed, and wipe the jelly off of the remaining jelly off of the knife, or wipe the jelly onto the other piece of bread that has been unused until the knife is somewhat clean. Now, dip that knife into the peanut butter jar and spread it over the bread, right? To cover the entire bread. If the bread is not covered with your first dip, go ahead and dip it back in and spread it again, okay? Now, put the knife down, right? That's a step. Put the knife down and put the pieces of bread together. Or actually, I would reword that and say, pick up the piece of peanut butter bread with your right hand on the bottom of the bread, slide it under the bread, and flip it over and put it face down so that the peanut butter touches the jelly on the left piece of bread. Now pick back up your knife and create a diagonal cut on the bread to make 2 triangles. Right? Put the knife in the sink, put the lids back on the jelly and the peanut butter, walk them over to the refrigerator, put them back in the appropriate place, grab the milk, get a glass, pour a half glass of milk, put the milk back, take the glass of milk and your plate with your peanut butter and jelly sandwich to the table and enjoy. Like, that seems like a lot, right? It seems like, no, Julian, you could just tell them to slap some peanut butter and jelly on a piece of bread and they'll get it. But that's not how it is. Remember, your first language is their second or third language. So that may seem straightforward and easy to you, and you may not even have to think about how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But for them, this is absolutely brand new. And ultimately, if you teach them right, they will get to a place where they don't have to think about it either. It's just an unconscious thing, right? You don't even think about it. I'm just boom, 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 and all of a sudden I have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But when you're teaching, you have to go meet them where they are. When I was getting my master's in education, I learned this concept of I+1. And what it suggests is that you can only build off of where that individual is. So you have to go meet them where they are and then add something to that, right? So I can't just jump from addition to algebra, right? I have to jump from addition to subtraction. There is a sequence to it. And you have to think about that when you're breaking up your curriculum if you really care about your students and you want them to actually complete your courses, not just buy your courses. A lot of people out there just want people to buy their courses and don't care if they complete. That's not how I operate. And so you actually have to do your best. And when you break them down into small modules, guess what? They'll feel more accomplished because they'll be checking off boxes a lot faster. And those small wins give them motivation and momentum to get to the finish line. All right? So this is Julian Gordon with another episode of the Daily Jules. Go out there and cut up your course in as many pieces as possible, and I will catch you in the next episode. Peace.
I hope these mindsets, metaphors, and methodologies blessed you. If you desire more freedom, go to getfreenow.com to subscribe to the show on iTunes, YouTube, or Facebook, and get 4 of my best courses in the Freedom School for 100% free.